Hi, I'm here at CTIA. I'm with Tom Gregor, the President and General Manager of Ingenu, an exciting technology helping the Internet of Things and machine-to-machine proliferate. Tom, welcome. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Peter. Happy to be here.
Can you tell us a little bit in general about Ingenu and what your mission is?
Sure. So Ingenu has developed an entirely new technology that's been built from the ground up for machines. Other technologies have been repurposed to serve the M2M or IoT community, whereas RPMA is our technology that we've created specifically for machines to serve the IoT solutions in the market today.
Well, so machine to machine, is kind of an old term, and now we're using Internet of Things. We use industrial Internet of Things. Where are the key markets that your technology is playing today?
So our technology is a low power, wide area technology. It's a low bandwidth, yet it serves a broad array of IoT solutions. A study was done, and essentially today, of all M2M or IoT solutions that have been deployed globally, RPMA can serve 86% of those solutions.
Oh, wow.
So we do not do voice communications, we do not do streaming data or streaming video, but for any other vertical that you just are looking to get an attribute out of an asset, whether that's its location, its temperature, any attribute that you'd like to get out of an asset, RPMA can serve that. RPMA is a two-way technology, so it's not just one way of a machine reporting up its location or its temperature, its weight, but if you need to reach out to that device and change a configuration, update its firmware, RPMA gives you the capability to do that. We can serve the planet. We've deployed the technology in the 2.4 gigahertz radio spectrum. 2.4 gigahertz is available in every country globally. So it allows us to create a network footprint around the globe and have a device ecosystem of building one device and being able to ship that device anywhere in the world that there's an RPMA network, and that device will be able to connect to that network.
So in relative terms, you're emerging technology. So you mentioned that ecosystem. What are the challenges to supplying? While you can put the network up relatively quickly, what's happening out in the market to provide those modules and sensors and all that good piece?
Yeah, great question, Peter. So we're focused on building that network. So I'm focused with a team here in the United States of building out our machine network. So it's working with our tower partners in co-locating our equipment on their towers to create that coverage. But it's also in building that ecosystem, because that's great that we have a network and coverage, but without devices, we don't really have a viable solution. So we've been partnering with different players in the ecosystem. Just yesterday here at CTIA, we announced a new partnership with u-blox. u-blox is, they set the bar in terms of manufacturing radio modules. Their positioning technology really sets the bar with what they've created. And they are very interested in what we're doing in the low power, wide area technology that they're partnering with us, that they'll now be creating an RPMA radio module of u-blox. So partners now can go to u-blox, whether it's to their website or to their sales channel, and the u-blox folks will be deploying RPMA radio modules. Back in May, we announced that we've also partnered with Compal. They're a big Taiwanese consumer electronics firm. They want to get into the IoT. They have also taken on a partnership with us where they'll be building RPMA radio modules as well.
Wow.
So back at Ingenu, we're trying to get out of being in the equipment business. We want to be that network operator and that technology company. So here in the US, we will be that network operator of the RPMA machine network.
So subscription model?
Subscription
monthly
model.
Cost?
Exactly. So it's creating a recurring revenue model for the company. For solution partners, yes, they would sign up for a subscription and pay access to the network and then pay for their data usage on the network.
Excellent. So now outside the United States, where is this being adopted, and how does a country or a new area take this on?
Prior to our new strategy of creating the public network, the company was founded in 2008. Since 2008, We've deployed 38 RPMA networks in a private network fashion. So think of utilities. San Diego Gas and Electric is one of our private network customers. They've rolled out RPMA to cover San Diego County for the utilities needs. So they're monitoring the electrical grid and
Fully operational
smart metering.
now? It's
Fully
deployed?
operational, absolutely. So we have 37 other partners like San Diego Gas and Electric, customers that have deployed RPMA in 38 countries on 5 different continents.
Did I read about Aruba? Was that one of them?
Yes,
Yeah.
Aruba is a great study. It's the island that has deployed 7 access points, and a pretty big island, but the benefit of RPMA is we can achieve up to 200 square miles of coverage with one single RPMA site that's deployed out on a tower or a rooftop. The island of Aruba was bringing the technology to the island. Again, their utility there wanted to monitor the electrical grid and provide their end customers with the ability to see their data usage and allow them to not only monitor it, but cut back on their usage, so it wasn't a surprise when they received their monthly electrical bill. Well, that went so well for the island of Aruba and the utility there that they've now looked at other applications. So in addition to doing smart metering, they're now rolling out intelligent LED streetlights.
Really?
And two-way controls of the streetlights to help conserve energy there. They're now piloting some water meters. They're putting out fault circuit indicators, and that's a device that they can put on an overhead transmission line, and it monitors the voltage in that line. So if there's a spike in voltage or an outage, the FCI alerts the utility that they've got an issue, and now they can pinpoint exactly where on that grid they have a problem, get a truck out there, and restore that service. And
So it's a two-way service, low bandwidth, high coverage model? Is that-
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
Exactly.
So you know, it's fascinating, and one of the areas that the dense network studies is the smart city. And you know, the first thing that we like to point out is it's not all about the city. It's a public-private cooperation that's needed, right? The utilities are sometimes, you know, in different business models as how they work together, the transportation departments. What are you seeing, what do you think will be the enablement of RPMA in the U.S. Where you deploy? Would this be an architecture that would underlie a lot of what the smart city is trying to do?
It is. One such city is the city of Riverside, California. They evaluated different technologies for their needs there in the city, and they selected RPMA, and they were in the process of rolling out a private RPMA network, just like San Diego Gas and Electric. We approached them last fall and told them of our plans to roll out a public machine network, and that we could work with the city, co-locate our equipment on city infrastructure, and provide our coverage for the city and their uses, but also for the greater IoT solutions for the city of Riverside. So it was a win-win for both of us, because now the city didn't have to invest in resources and time to deploy that network. Their original plan was to have 9 sites deployed throughout the city over the course of a year and a half. We came in and had the network fully deployed in 3 months.
Wow.
So they were able to now achieve much sooner results of getting their fault circuit indicators was the first application that they're rolling out in the city of Riverside. And now they're looking at getting into water meter monitoring, electric meters, and other smart city applications.
Fascinating. So you, from a footprint standpoint, 200 square miles, how many towers are involved? I mean, you know, they could be obviously in some technology, if you took Wi-Fi, for instance, in the 2.4, how many access points to cover that much would be enormous, right? With your technology, I understand it's relatively few towers necessary in a big broadcast?
It is. To date, we have 6 cities here, 6 markets essentially in the United States that are on the air with coverage. We rolled out the metro area of Dallas, and I don't want to just say it's the city of Dallas, because it's Fort Worth and all that, all the surrounding towns there. That we're covering 2,400 square miles in that area with 18 sites. Wow. So that's roughly 120 square miles per site. Moving over to Phoenix. Phoenix is a great area for us. We're covering 1,800 square miles in that Phoenix Valley with 10 sites. So there, you know, we're getting up to 180 square miles.
10 towers?
10 towers covering that. It creates a high coverage, great outdoor coverage. In addition, it's a great indoor coverage as well. We'll probably need to go back once we've got capacity on the network, once we see different use cases that want to have a deeper penetration into basements of buildings or underground garages, we can come back and deploy more access points to penetrate and solve for those additional use cases as they present themselves to us.
So an entity that starts to work with you, do they subscribe 10 units or 1,000, or what is the model that starts to make good business sense and married to the capability?
Well, sure. I mean, that's I've been, as I mentioned to you earlier, I threw the M2M acronym out there, so you knew that I've been around for a few years now. That we're now calling it the IoT, or now I think Cisco wants to call it the IOE, the Internet of Everything. But that's how solution partners start. They start with piloting some prototypes of 10 units. And we're happy to work with all sizes of solution partners, to work with them, educate them on the benefits of RPMA, get some prototypes out there, and then those tens turn into hundreds, turn into thousands, 10,000s. And we truly believe we're going to be serving millions, tens of millions of devices with our technology.
When you say M2M, I have to smile because actually right here in 2004, I did a speaking engagement. I was speaking on Wi-Fi, and there was this guy from T-Mobile named John Horn who was talking about M2M, and as I'm on that panel, I stopped caring about what I was talking about because he was fascinating. And I said, that is incredible. And so I started to investigate it. So John is, I think, one of the pioneers in the industry. So you mentioned Dallas. That's the hub of a number of the big carriers there. You're overbuilding their cell network, but is it really a competitive model, or are you just a unique solution?
It's competitive, but it's also complementary. There will be multiple technologies serving the billions of devices of the IoT. I think the term frenemies can be thrown into here, that we'll be competing with the carriers on certain solutions, certain aspects, but we'll also be partnering with them to be able to bring our technology in hard-to-reach places. So there's certain verticals that are evolving, smart agriculture, oil and gas. There's territories in this country where the cellular carriers still do not serve today. I know with their coverage maps they want to paint the whole U.S., whether it's yellow or orange or blue, but go down to the Eagle Ford Shale Basin. We have a great partner, Wellaware, that has deployed RPMA covering 50,000 square miles of the Eagle Ford, Permian, Bakken shale basins of this country to serve the oil and gas industry. There is no cellular technologies down there. So now with a 200, 300 square mile radius of an RPMA site, I can be at the edge of a cellular connection and use that as my backhaul, but then project my RPMA coverage into these areas.
Because of your range, you can serve this bigger footprint, so boats and ocean and lake, you can extend further out.
Absolutely. So we can go where the population is not, but that's where the machines are going to be. Whether it's doing soil moisture monitoring or in the oil and gas verticals. And
you guys private?
We are, yes.
Yeah? Any plans to go public?
Potentially.
Potentially?
Yes.
I mean, there can be no question that, obviously the technology has been validated, it works very well, that with the proliferation of devices, there's a really big space for you guys, at least in my estimation.
Yeah.
You must be
it's we're plenty busy back at the shop. A lot of activity of just getting our U.S. network built and on the air, but we're also licensing the technology to others outside of the U.S. So construction is happening today in Italy, South Africa, in China. Operators have adopted our technology, and they're busy rolling out the technology in their given territories.
So actually a mobile provider now can see this as part of its network? Is that in another country? Oh.
Whether they're a network operator today or just someone that might have infrastructure in a given country. But yes, we are talking to network operators in South Africa, South America, Central America, that they're now overlaying their existing LTE network, 3G networks, but now they're providing RPMA to serve the machines. Because that's what RPMA was built for. It was purpose-built for machines and machines only, and that's what we're going to serve.
Okay, so you mentioned utilities. We talked about the meters and transportation, the roadways, and some of the sensors now that are taking place. Is that a technology, your technology, would that apply there?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
We serve all the different IoT verticals, from the very basic fleet tracking, asset tracking, vending. We can serve point of sale. So wireless point of sale, parking meters,
Movable object? I mean, a vehicle, would that, since you have this range, you don't have to hand off very often, I would.
No,
Yeah.
but we can support handoffs.
You can? Oh.
We absolutely can. The technology can, it joins an access point, but it also listens to see, as it's moving away from that access point, it listens to see other access points and can communicate to an adjacent one.
Wow, okay. So, all right, well, there's a tremendous upside, at least in our viewpoint. I want to talk to you a little bit about the Bahamas, where Dense Networks does a little bit of work. We're helping the build out of a cell network down there, a second cell network.
Okay.
So,
be more than happy to speak to you about that.
Yeah, tremendous opportunities out there. Certainly not enough coverage. So, any last thoughts? I mean, what's the 3 to 5 year plan for?
Well, we're a very aggressive plan. We look to have our U.S. network fully built out by end of 2017.
How many markets would that be?
We've got 120 markets right now on our short list.
I think I saw a lot in Florida. You have major markets
Major
in Florida?
markets. We're building right now in Florida. So our goal in 2016 is to have 30 markets on air. Today we have 6. So we've got a lot of work going on as we speak in multiple locations. And then we're really going to hit the gas pedal come January, February 2017 and get our network fully deployed and really create a ubiquitous footprint. And just as we're busy here in the U.S., our partners that we've licensed to internationally have the same aggressive build strategies as well.
Cool. Well, we're impressed. I don't know what that counts for, Tom, but
thank you, Peter.
We're going to keep an eye on what you're doing and keep our group informed. So thanks a lot for joining us.
Great. Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.